Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Talent You Should Know, where we focus on the entertainment industry on a different level. Not only will there be artist and actor interviews of known and unknown talent, but insight into the team behind them that helps them build their brand. Each week, we'll tackle a different person in the industry with talents in their own rights. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. To another episode of Talent You Should Know with Zag. Today we have China Raphael. How are you today?
I'm blessed and highly favored.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I am so glad that that Miss K introduced us because I like to see, kind of both sides of the team and just their history and how they managed to get together. So can you just kind of tell me how you started, even before you met her?
Oh, okay. Well, let's just start right before I met her because I got a story to tell. So, I was actually started my business. I think I was 2 years in or a year and a half into my business, which is called Effective CPR, and Effective CPR training. And I used to work out of a studio, which I was also the kind of like the director of that studio. I would kind of be over the employees there, make sure it's the feng shui is doing its thing. And Miss K was part of that team, which was iUrban TV Studios.
Right.
Andre, yes. And she knew him for a while, and she was always there at the studio, working, put it in work. She's always focused on what she's doing. She was always media. She was always, a PR. So she was doing her thing, and I was in there doing my CPR thing in my little office area space for my classes. And she was always observing me. And I just kind of had to do this yacht thing because I also do a traveling business, and it was just me working. And Miss K just literally was like, "Hey, you want me to take over and hold it down, the phones and the class and all this?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." Left to do what I had to do. I came back and she had everything in order. I can tell you, I was like, and I said, when I get a little bit bigger and I start franchising and doing what I got to do, I'm coming back for you. And she's like, "Oh, girl, don't worry about it."
Right.
And come to find out, my business grew. I have 6 offices in Georgia.
Wow.
I have 29 here in between Miami and Dade with my Effective CPR business. And it was too much for me to do. I couldn't do everything on my own. So what I did was kept my word.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Excuse me, remember me? Let's go." And since then, she's just been at my side with all 3 of my businesses.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's like to have, just even one business as an entrepreneur, but to have 3 and to be able to continue to maintain that is so much. Like, was your initial intent like, "Hey, I'm going to do effective, the effective CPR"? Or did you say, "Hey, was one of your other entities your primary focus and it just happened"?
It kind of just happened because, to go further back, I basically started off as just a medical assistant, and I just kept going to school for X-ray. I just was falling in love with the healthcare field, but I was always hosting a party here. Someone will ask me to come and host a party there. And I love to travel. I did a group travel to Africa thing. And I took like 12 people with me. And I just decided to kind of take the healthcare field and the entrepreneurship and mix it together.
Yeah.
And that's how I came up with the Effective CPR business. And that was something I always was in the field of doing.
Yeah.
And just looking at the scale of what I was doing, saving lives, being helpful, doing the healthcare thing, I always had to certify. I always had to keep my certificates up. And I was like, I think I'm on the wrong end of this. And that's how I actually got started with, the actual Effective CPR business. So that was always my primary passion. It was always something that I just got creative with. I left the nursing field and I just said, I wanted to work for myself. I wanted to to help my people to do what I was doing because it was working, So I was stuck with just that train of thought.
Yeah. So I see that you have a lot going on. Like the level of events that you do. First of all, I want to go to like every one of them. Um, even if I'm like back in the stowaway, it's fine. But how do you decide, or do you give the same experience to, as far as like music and celebrities and then like the everyday executive? Like, how do you kind of like separate that, or is it the same experience?
It's more of the same experience. First, the thing I do primarily, honesty, to help to even, because sometimes I sit back and I listen to someone like, how do you do all that? What are you doing? And to be honest with you, I can say this with a pure heart, putting God first, not to bring religion into everything, but that is what it is for me.
Yeah.
And just order and control, just having order and control with who I am within, my spirituality is what gives me order and control. I just use the same thing when it comes to business. So therefore I build like a plateau because I'm only one person. I want to build an empire. I want to build what the things I'm putting my passion into. I want to have a team to help build that, to boom it. And now I'm, on a platform of, a 10, if I was to rate it, So it's like, I just feel like, when it comes to like focus, first I put God into it, and just having that control in my day to know I can stop to do that with everything I have to do is how I apply it with everything else. I have to stop and do what I have to do. I'm only one person. So, but it works. It works, Power of prayer, I say. Because sometimes I pull off some shows and some events.
Yeah.
Like,
how did you do? I feel you. And it's like beforehand, the level of anxiety is almost like, can I? And then afterwards, you're like, you know what? That wasn't that bad. Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So I surprise myself sometimes because sometimes it's like, it's the vision. Like sometimes I have to feel it. I have to feel it before I act on it. Because I have a lot of opportunities that came my way from different people, celebrities, and it's just something that I didn't feel. If I don't feel it, I have to want it for you. And that's what makes the event so grand. Because it wasn't really it's not really what I sought out, but you came to me and sought me out to do something that you see of doing. And if I have to have that connection of that vision of what you're doing in order to even take, into consideration of actually, blowing it up for you.
Yeah. And
I'm over the top. I do more than everybody will tell you. My whole family, China's extra. So I use that with that. So a lot of things just come out really great.
Yeah. Well, that's what I like about, and I say that about, agents, publicists and that kind of stuff. Like you really have to believe in who you're representing and who you're doing these things for. Like, I told someone in my last interview, I said, I don't interview people, that I'm like faking it with, that I don't like have a respect for what they do, that I'm not a fan of, that because I don't want to come off as not being authentic. Like I look at what you're doing and what Miss Kay doing, and I'm like, man, they just want these things to be great, and they want, to make sure that everyone has a good experience and they're showcased. You know what I mean? And I want to go into what I thought was really, really great was the small business networking extravaganza for Black-owned businesses. Like, how did that come about?
Okay. That right there, I have a business, my third business. It's called Business Finesse Advising.
Okay.
And what that does is it helps a lot of Black businesses. It's my choice. I can help any business, but I'm choosing to stay in the category of Black people. A lot of people say, why? Why not? Is my answer. So therefore it's like I try to help, people that are doing business out of their car or out of their kitchen or, walking around with a bucket or a lawnmower and try to push them to actually do what you're doing, but on a professional level where you're legitimate and you're paying taxes and getting banks to get you loans, So like it works. So they're already doing it. You're already walking in the light. You just don't have that business knowledge,
Yeah.
So I share that and I let them know the baby steps. Like it doesn't take much to get a fictitious name. This is all you got to do. This is all it costs. And I guide them in that way. Me building a lot of businesses, working with them, doing logos and online and letting people know you need a business plan if you got a real business. If you take it seriously, you need that. So, showing them what that knowledge is within the business aspect of whatever they're already doing.
Right.
What happened is I got a lot of businesses, I would say legitimized. Okay.
Yeah.
And I did so well within a year of starting my business. I was like, God wouldn't bless me like that for me to receive the way I received, and not to be able to give it back in some way. So I was like, you know what? I want to have, because a lot of them were lost. They didn't know how to sell their products, how to advertise, how to market. And, it takes time to do that, to learn what to do and what's not to do. So I wanted to do a networking. I've seen all this pop-up shops are becoming very popular now.
Yeah.
And I wanted to incorporate that with what they were doing, like a business pop-up shop, my business network pop-up shop, but for Black people, since my clients were all Black people, you know, of the melanin descent. And a lot of them got together. They got their logos, they got their stickers, they got excited. It was an event, it was a program. And I was like, Miss K does, a lot with publicists for artists and, people that do a lot of the talent world. And I collide that, and I got artists to come and perform because I said, this is networking. You're selling your music. You might be selling this herbal product and you might be selling this fresh box, but here you are, you can, sell yourself with music. So, someone reached out and it was like, I love what you're doing. I spoke to one of the artists and I'm a chef and I want to contribute my service so I can network myself and come up with small plates and show people what I can do on a scale from vegan to carnivores. And I was like, let the doors open. And then a DJ called me and she was like, I love what you're doing. I want to provide my services.
Wow.
So it became like that pebble in the pond. It became a ripple wave.
A ripple effect.
Wanting to come back and look, because off of positivity, I had to do what I do. I could have kept my money and been like, I'm good. I'm good. I wanted to give it back. I wanted to, and I did that out of pocket. It was all free, a free event.
Yeah.
No one paid anything, So I just felt like I had to pay that forward in that sense, To me, with positivity, why not give it back with positivity? So I had a collective group of people that came together, contribute on their own. Wow. And everybody made money that day. Everybody had a program. The artist sung and they rapped and they pinkies in the air. It was beautiful.
And I like that. I always say, when I started the podcast, right? I was like, okay, I'm going to start a podcast. You don't realize, like, first, what it entails to do this. And secondly, it's like, what is my end game, right?
Yeah.
Because it was legitimately after my second interview, I'm like, where do I want to take this? What do I want to do with it? Because my entire platform is based on showcasing talent behind the scenes and in the forefront, because I feel like, the publicist is just as important as the artist, because they wouldn't be seen here and there, you know what I mean, without you. And what I've been talking about recently is passion and purpose.
Right.
And what it seems like with you, which is kind of dope, is that they're both intertwined. They're not separate. You know what I mean? Like, you're passionate about helping people, but that's also your purpose. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. I actually had someone that was doing my nails. Shout out to Zipporia Paws and Claws.
Talk about it.
And she is like a prophet, okay? And I tell you, she was doing my nails and she was just like, oh, God, I just have something that I have to say, I'm sorry if I scare you, but God is speaking to me. And she told me, she was like, you probably wonder, like, why, you're always in the mix of helping. You put so much of yourself into someone and you don't really get that back, but your purpose here is to be that piece to help. Like, someone is always that you're going to come that you take serious, or if it's a relationship, if it's business, if you take it wholeheartedly with your, the purpose that God has put into you, you are that piece that they need to fill. They come with a vessel with a missing piece, or they come empty, and you're that piece. The only downside is that you get used a lot, taken advantage of a lot. But I would rather the position of being a giver than a taker, because that's all there is.
Yeah.
Because if I'm the giver and you're coming to take, God is always going to bless me to have a full cup. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's a burden to bear also,
I've learned.
but it's a gift.
It is. And
Yeah.
it's like, someone's like, well, you don't, charge to interview or do this or do that. I said, no, because I do this because I love it. And I'm like, there are enough people out there that are going to charge you $500 to do an interview
Exactly.
and advertising. I'm like, no, this is for the love. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And, for those trying to get into your business, as far as like public relations and just, organizing all of these great events, like what's your advice, or do you have any recommendations?
Yes. I would say you have to be in the mindset. It's the mindset. That's the recommendation. That's the advice of your mindset. You have to be in it to actually want someone to eat.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. It's not just about self. It's not about personal gain. It's like get as excited as you can get excited for yourself eating on this business deal, on this play, on this whatever it is, the game. Yeah. Be excited that the people you're going to bring in is going to eat too.
Yeah.
That should be, because then it works, because you're coming in this pure and of a place of gain and positivity. You know what I'm saying? It's not just solely intended for you and your gain and your personal wealth and you're going to be a millionaire off this one. It might take you there, but it comes with reputation. It comes with repertoire. It comes with a page of what it is that you bring to the table. It just don't come with just money. Anybody can come with $1 million event and I'm going to be a millionaire tomorrow. No. And even though if that, I got to bust it down with my team. Be excited to pay the team.
Yeah.
Excited for the gain of others.
Yeah. Because gift giving is, like they say, that's the first form of like true thanks. You know what I mean? So, I think that you've given your gift as far as the companies that you built and also how you, recognize everyone that's around you. Right. Mm-hmm. And I know this might sound strange, but I feel like it's important, for women who are coming into this. Is there anything else additionally that, that you see that maybe they should kind of be aware of? Because I know some can go like really far left, and then it comes from being someone in your position to being someone who's known for something else, right?
Right. Well, for women, I would say, it's harder. I would say that, we always looked at lesser of the human race. We're second, Adam came first, whatever. But, there's always going to be judgment in that light. Know who you are. It doesn't matter. Like, they're going to talk with or without you. That's a phrase that my mom always say. We here, you gone. They still won't say what they want. Right. It don't matter. You can't fall. You can't fall short from someone else's point of view because you might look at it. It could even be family, or a close friend or someone you really put that emotion or that time or that love into, and they just don't see your light, and they can say one thing and it could just like set you back, like it could sit you down. Like, know who you are, stand in who you are. I don't care if you are extra, be extra, girl. Do you?
So very.
What is gas? Okay, act like you ain't got no brake systems. You know what I'm saying? And so, but that's my advice in reference to like just generally when it comes to business, when it comes to approaching collaborations with other businesses. Your mindset. How you come to the table. Respecting self and wanting to not only gain but be an asset to someone worth it. Put your worth on the table. Yeah.
So you also had like an artist extravaganza and a showcase, and that was pretty extensive too. Like, I was looking at the pictures and I was getting just hot, and like watching that.
Yes. Because actually, we were supposed to just do the Black Business Networking Extravaganza just only once a year. First one, that was it. I was like, okay, I did it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then everybody was like, I'm gonna do it again, girl.
Yes.
And I gotta come. Oh my gosh, I seen the pictures. Those that didn't come, I was like, okay, this is God speaking to me. And then I started getting paid to actually host networking parties like that. And I was like, you know what? Someone's like, you need to do this biannually or just do it 4 times a year, 6 times a year.
That's a lot. 6
and I was just like, I'm just one me.
Yeah.
I'm still building team, and that takes time, to know who's really on your team. Because like I said, you have to want it just as much as I want it. It has to be, we're both dreaming, So it's like, when I did the arts extravaganza, I was just like, I don't want it to be the same, because I spoke to my brother.
Yeah.
And my brother was like, he was there for the first one. He was just like, because he's been to a lot of my fails. Okay.
Okay.
Keep doing it. Keep going.
Keep going.
You don't win all the time. It's all right. Ooh, that was messed up, but we're going to get through it, So he's always been supportive.
I love family.
Yeah, he's always been supportive, and that's why I always been good. Because if it wasn't been like shaming, because like I said, you have people like that also.
Yeah,
that will shame you, and they were like, "Oh, girl, I told you, girl,
yeah, I told you
that was bad," and they'll help you live in that, So it's like you have people that support you. Use that as your gas also, and he always supported me. He always spoke light of every event. And that first one I did, he was like, "Don't do it bigger, do it better." And I was like, okay, let's do it better. So I did it better. Better caused it to be big because, again, I'm going to go back to this, I'm extra. So I was like, I want it to be around Black art because nobody celebrates Black art.
Yeah.
I want to see some Black art.
Yes.
Okay. And I was like, Black fashion, where they at? Bump Gucci, bump Fendi, bump Prada. I want to see what our Black people are doing. We do it. Some of the stuff that Gucci and Fendi and all them are doing, it's us. It's our designs, our ideas, So I feel like we should definitely celebrate our Black people, since this is a Black thing that I'm doing. And I got Black artists, and I got Black, musicians. I got Black fashion designers, and I said, we're gonna rip the runway, give them a fashion show.
Let's go.
Okay, so bring your pieces. We're all excited. I had all the vendors out. I had everybody promoting their product, gave them a chance to speak to the crowd, because this is not a party.
Yeah.
It's not a party. I'm sorry, it was nobody twerking. I'm so sorry, it wasn't a pole in the background.
Right.
That wasn't the theme. The theme
right. Exactly.
Network, right. So if you want to network, and I even told this in my first event, and I was like, if you came here to party, turn up, and you waiting for somebody to start throwing.
Unfortunately, right.
It's not here. So therefore, if you're not here to get someone's business card, give somebody their money and they cash out, buy a product, network, intertwine, build with someone else here, you're at the wrong event.
I like that.
Yeah, you're at the wrong event. This is the wrong event. Sorry. So, and everybody understood that, because a lot of the people that know the parties I do throw outside of networking and extravaganza, Black business, it is that, don't get it twisted. Nah, I do that too now, but this wasn't it. So I had to make sure the crowd understood that nobody was coming with singles.
Yeah.
So, but I mixed the Black art, I mixed the Black fashion into it, and I just kept it, still networking, still, the artists producing their music and all that stuff. So I just added production because everybody wanted to be a part of it. Production was there and they wanted to be a part of it,
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you want for the future? Like, what do you want for and I'm not just saying for one business, for all of your businesses. What do you want? Okay, well, ultimately, I want to build that bridge between that gap of Black people investing into each other once again, like Tulsa, Yeah. I wanna live in a community like it was just like in Tulsa, where it was, our Black market, it was our Black Wall Street. It was, I'm sorry, not Black market, scratch that, Black Wall Street. Yeah. Our Black businesses, basically our foundation, our own, like truly our own, like this is us. It comes from us. There's nobody on the back end, it's us, and ownership of that, being a true American, Black, African, Haitian citizen here, period, and that's just the ultimate goal, period. Like just unification on a platform that's even swapping, period. That's my end goal at the end, because it's been so much of a fight. It's still a fight. Yeah. And I guess that's what we're all fighting for, So
in this aspect, if what I'm doing could set a trend to help that fight and we can get on that platform, let it be. Because it could come through anything. It could come through music. It could come through my traveling business. It could come through, my effective CPR business. It could come through so much, So that's my end game. It's just unifying Black people on one platform to be able to do it like the Koreans and the Chinese and the Vietnamese and the Latinos. They have a special unification where trust is there. Their people are intertwined and locked and vibrating on one frequency with one another, no matter whatever the war is in their country. But when it comes to getting together and getting it done, or building a community here in our United States, we have a whole, like Hialeah is, that's, if you don't speak Spanish, don't go there. You
don't go there.
It's Publix and ask for something because I don't speak no English. And this is America.
Yeah.
I want to build that with us. I want that infiltration set in our minds to know that can happen with us too. We can have that.
And I think, slowly but surely, and I hate to say this, George Floyd his death has impacted us in a way that might not have happened for a long, long time, right? I think that we are, as a people, coming together more like we see it. And it's getting to the point where, other people are like, well, this is happening to us and this is happening to us. And we're like, collectively, we need to get stronger before we can help anyone else. And I appreciate that we are helping each other now. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I've tried to instill that, just in my kids, and even when I have to educate people, at work, and I educate them very well because I'm
an educator too. I totally understand. So when you say that, that just kind of hit a note with me, and I want to share this with you. It's something that happened when I taught a class this week, actually, because I'm an instructor for the effective CPR business. I still throw myself in there sometime and teach, how to give advanced cardio life support, basic life support. And, you teach nurses and you teach students and you teach life coaches, you teach personal training, you see a walk of people that need a certificate, security, And there was a woman there who was just sharing each other's experience with CPR. She's like, well, my husband and my dad and my grandfather, they're all officers and everything, because part of my class, I make everybody stop and say 6 minutes. And everybody shouts out 6 minutes. And they're like, and I was like, what does that mean to you in this training with CPR? And no one could answer. It could be a doctor, it could be a surgeon. Some people get it right. I'm not going to give it to my students, but a lot of them that should know it don't know that. It takes 6 minutes without oxygen flowing to the brain, meaning circulation, for the brain to die. That's usually the first thing to go when oxygen is cut. So when I said that to her, because she seemed like, one of those people like, my peoples are officers and they know what they're doing on the field. And I was like, okay, 6 minutes, what does that mean? And she began to cry when I gave her the definition.
Like I'm sitting here tearing up.
Yeah.
It never hurts any less.
Right. Because everyone should know that has this certificate that says you are in compliance to do your job.
Yeah.
You should know that. And if you don't know that, you are in the wrong field, because that's key. Especially for the training, the knowledge you should know when you're approaching a scene scenario. So I just feel like with me, I have to hit that chord, and I'm doing it for my Black people.
Yeah.
I'm teaching all walks of life of people, like I said, and that's key to know. And I make them say it out loud. Some of them be like, I need to hear you say it. And the more you don't want to say it, or maybe you might know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm going to get into, because subliminally I'm just saying, every emergency medical respondent, first medical respondent, first person on the scene, need to know that if you are doing a job, you need to know that. You know that. You should know that. If you have your certificate, you know that. So I make sure I don't miss with that, and it's something that they go home, because I know when you leave my class, you're going to be in your car, you're going to be thinking about that, because you didn't know that.
No, I didn't.
Like that. And what's going on today is too big not to apply it to what I'm talking to you subliminally. So I make sure everybody leaves with that. So if you had a doubt in your mind that something was just from that situation, you now know if you were that officer, you knew 6 minutes.
Exactly. Whew. So,
Yes.
So what's next? What do we have? What do we have coming up next?
Well, right now I'm stuck at doing. I can't think of next right now. I'm in a play of like just keeping it all intact because it's a lot. Like I said, I have China Travels Inc. And that's a traveling business that does the hosting and the events and everything. I have Business Finesse Advising, which is, my business that help, small Black businesses get legitimized and, get their self-established storefronts.
Yeah.
And then I have Effective CPR, which is my baby. I teach, how to make sure you know how to save a life in case of an emergency situation or to stay in compliance with your job. So it's like right now I'm building on those because I want each thing to do what it's supposed to do, like I explained.
Yeah.
And that takes a lot of time. So I'm in a stuck motion of doing right now. I'm grinding. So to think of what's next is like I have to be able to stop grinding and get people to grind for me.
Yeah.
A team.
I get it. Yeah.
I'm in the process of team building. So, right now, for what's next is just growing. Growth is what's next. I'm thinking about expanding in Central Florida with my CPR business and in Texas. So, because AHA, I teach for the American Heart Association, Red Cross and ASHI.
Mm-hmm.
American Heart is worldwide, so I can go anywhere with that and teach.
Well,
yeah.
You are extremely impressive, and I hope you take that with the sincerity in which
I receive it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Because I do these, I do the interviews, and I'm thinking, sometimes it's primarily entertainment. Mm-hmm. But what I loved about this is that you also teach people how to, save lives.
Yes.
And save lives.
Power. It's a superpower.
Yeah. Physically and and mentally, right?
Absolutely.
So I want you to tell everyone, please, like where they can find you, how to reach you for all of your different entities so that they know.
Oh, absolutely. Well, they on you can email me at businessfinesseadvising@gmail.com. Any questions, anything that pertains to your business. We have people on standby waiting to answer any questions, how to get legitimized, how to, get loans, how to advance to a storefront. Also, there's a website, which is businessfinesseadvising.com. You can actually get on there, and there's a comment page where you can message me there. Also on social media for China Travels is China_Travels _Inc. And that one is, you can DM me for anything. Facebook, it's the same thing, China Travels Inc. You can contact me on there with any questions, any events that you may want to throw, venues or hosting. I'm an event coordinator and specialist. So definitely I got my hands tied into a lot of great Miami locations, Broward locations, especially in Georgia also. And for which one am I missing? Effective CPR. Yes, that one. You can go to effectivecpr.com, schedule classes. You can look at all the pricings on there for each class. There's videos, a free video just to watch to see how CPR is performed and done, just for self-knowledge. But if it's a certificate you need to stay in compliance, we also do that too, same day certification. You can email us at effectivecprtraining@gmail.com also. Our phone number for that business is 754-600-3405. Okay. So, but if anything else that deals with any other business, you can reach me at 772-212-3502. Okay.
Everything will be down below, everyone. Absolutely. So you don't have to rewind and play it back. I'll have it.
It's you'll be like,
I'll have it down below.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on. Like it was more than I thought
I receive it, man. This is
really
a blessing. I ask for prosperity and increase on your end and what you're doing. Bless you with everything. Each one reach one, teach one.
Teach
So,
one.
absolutely.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to another episode of Talent You Should Know. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel as well as leave a review. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week.